Overall, is American intolerance of negative ads growing? We just came out of Iowa and New Hampshire. Some negative ads may have backfired for Mitt Romney. In other parts of the country, are Americans growing tired of negative advertising?
It's a great question, and it's interesting how voters will reject the overt message of a negative ad, and yet they will still remember the information, and they do have impact. The challenge for a campaign and a candidate is to produce an ad that doesn't seem negative, that you deliver information that is comparative and distinctive, that draws a contrast between the two candidates without being so overt, because voters will not accept at this point the sledgehammer approach. Now, I've got two ads for you. There's a reason why Hillary Clinton won in New Hampshire. Her advertising, which had not been as effective in Iowa, was particularly poignant. Her message was much more personal. And as you're watching this ad, as the lines climb, the goal of any ad is to get somewhere in the 50s, 60s, or 70s. We have people reacting on a second-by-second basis. The higher the lines climb, the more favorable the response. Watch how well Hillary Clinton's ad does when she herself is the communicator.
You would think that after all the sacrifice and service of the National Guard and Reserve protecting our country, they would have had health insurance. But they didn't. So I reached across the aisle and worked for 3 years with Senator Lindsey Graham, a Republican, to change that. Now every member of the Guard and Reserve has access to the health coverage they need. I've learned if you want to get things done, you have to know when to stand your ground and when to find common ground. I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
She looks straight into the camera. She delivers the message from the heart, and New Hampshire voters liked it.
Pretty much off the charts, positive from voters. You got a new one from John McCain. How do people react?
Yes, one of the reasons why John McCain did so well is that his message in New Hampshire was very effective, very clear, very personal, and very persuasive to Republicans. And I want to invite viewers, as they watch this ad, come to www.luntz.com. If you want to participate in one of these Fox News focus groups, we're inviting people from all over the country. Come to our website and sign up. Let's take a look at why John McCain won New Hampshire.
Since I've been in Washington, I've made a lot of people angry. I upset corporate lobbyists and special interests when I passed campaign finance reform. I made the Pentagon angry when I took on Rumsfeld and said we needed a different strategy in Iraq. I angered the big spenders in Congress by opposing their pork projects and calling for ethics reform. I don't like the business as usual crowd in Washington, but I love America. I love her enough to make some people angry. I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
Awesome. I love her enough to make some people angry. Well, he made a lot of New Hampshire voters very happy with that message. Now, it's not just what we heard from New Hampshire. We were down in South Carolina for the debate, and we gave South Carolina Republicans the chance to tell their candidates some advice. Take it from the voters, because they usually know what's best. Let's listen to what South Carolina voters would recommend to their favorite candidates.
I would recommend that Rudy Giuliani has some kind of plan and list a plan of what his policy is.
I'd recommend to Mitt Romney that he needs to relax and show some humor and show some personality.
Mike Huckabee just needs to be stronger, he needs to be more definitive, and he needs to let people know what he's done and look at his record.
Ron Paul should show a little bit more strength with his conversation and with his philosophies. He appears to be a little bit too thin and weak.
I'd like to tell John McCain to be just, I don't know, a little bit more relaxed. He seems kind of stiff and not entirely comfortable. And as far as Fred Thompson goes, I really don't know what his past achievements are, and I'd like to know them.
Giuliani, where's your energy? You look very tired.
Fred Thompson, keep hammering home your conservative values. Don't apologize for them, and stay as blunt as you can possibly stay.
And now I've got some advice for Ron Paul. I am going to, on the record, say that he should be. It was right for Fox News to put him in the debate in South Carolina. This person, he's raised a lot of money. He has significant support. He is outpolling some of the so-called top-tier candidates, and he deserves to be heard. He's got a very clear message. The problem is in his supporters. And I urge viewers, when the show is over, to go to YouTube and type in Ron Paul and Sean Hannity to see the melee that took place up in New Hampshire when Paul's supporters ran after Sean Hannity. This is a guy, Congressman Paul, who has the respect of other members of Congress, and he deserves to be heard. He should be treated with responsibility. But it's the same responsibility that his supporters have. I've got a list of emails here that we don't really have time to get into.
Right.
But they're very ugly, and they're very personal, and they're violent. And that's not the way this campaign should be conducted. So let's hear more from Ron Paul. But, hey, you guys who back him, you have some responsibilities as well.
Very briefly, on those supporters of Ron Paul, are they more loyal to libertarianism, or is it Ron Paul himself that has them so energized?
Ron Paul was the person that brought them together, and they organized around him. They believe in freedom, and there are millions of Americans who share their points of view. But I think he lost votes in New Hampshire because his supporters were so loud and so aggressive that it actually turned swing voters away from him. If you want Ron Paul to do well, show the same respect to others that you would want to show to your point of view.
Frank Luntz, thank you very much. Great to see you this morning.
Thank you.